this man, if by any means he be missing, then shall thy life be for his life, or else thou shalt pay a talent of silver. And as thy servant was busy here and there, he was gone. And the king of Israel said unto him, well, you said it. So shall thy judgment be. Thyself has decided it. I mean, you said it. That's what you said. And he hasted. And I can see him rubbing off the ashes off his face. And when he rubbed the ashes off his face, and the king of Israel discerned him that he was of the prophets. Okay, so there was something about those prophets in those days, about how they dressed and how they kept themselves and how they looked, that the king could tell who they are. He knew who they are. And as soon as he said, oh, I can imagine his mouth about to open now, because he said, something is coming now. Something is coming. Right? And it doesn't even look good. It's not going to look good, because in the beginning, a prophet came to me and told me I was going to win the war. He told me what to do. That was last year. Now another prophet came and told me that I'm going to win the war, and we won the war, and now all of a sudden a prophet is coming to me in disguise, and he knows it doesn't look pretty. It doesn't look good. Because if he was coming to me with good news, he would just come to me as he was before, but now it doesn't look pretty. What is this now? And he's looking at him like, And then the prophet opens his mouth, and he said unto him, thus saith the Lord, because thou hast let go out of thy hand a man whom I appointed to utter destruction. Therefore thy life shall go for his life, and thy people for his people. And the king of Israel went to his house, heavy and displeased, and came to Samaria. So no celebration this time. And last year, when he got the victory, God told him, must mark and strengthen yourself, because the enemy is coming back again. He told him, he said at the same time, at the return of the year, he's coming back again. And sometimes we're so disobedient when God is speaking. Right? Because here it is now. He said, don't bother going to celebrate. There's no time for that. Don't even get too excited. Because the enemy is coming back again. And here it happens now. The enemy comes again, as he said. He got the victory, and he flopped the whole thing. He flopped the whole thing. God gave him a second chance, and he flopped the whole thing. You know, when I read these things in the Bible, I said to myself, you can understand that there are some people that God cannot synchronize with. He can't get them to operate on his frequency. No matter how much chance he gives them, they cannot operate on his frequency. Here he was. He told him on this, watch it. I'm giving you this victory now. And he got it. And before he could go celebrate, he said, stop. The enemy's coming again. Don't even bother with that. Strengthen yourself, because the enemy's coming again. What did he do? Didn't do anything. More than, maybe he was a training army, left, right, left, right, left, right, yes. But there was something to be trained in the mind, in the heart, and in the spirit. That was what he needed. The spirit would not connect, because as long as they were still worshiping idols and worshiping Baal, how on earth could they connect with the Spirit of God? The same thing is true today. If we do not commit ourselves to connect with the Spirit of God, how will we really understand what God is doing? You know, you're talking about rain. This was rain. Okay? Yeah, what you were saying, the cities which my father took from your father. So they had beaten Israel time and time before. They had gloated about it and showed up themselves about it, how Israel can't even come close to them. Right? And now, they were the ones getting the whipping. And that was rain. That's a great thing when God gives you the permanence over your enemies. Right? Some people are so evil. Sometimes you have them on the job. Sometimes you have them living near to you. Whatever, even on the job, sometimes you don't know why some people are so wicked. You don't know what is the problem with them. Right? Why they creating problems for you working there? Why they don't do their job and go home and leave people alone? Right? What is it more than that everybody just trying to make a living? Right? Why are you just going to make it difficult for somebody else? Right? And later on you drop dead and you gone. Right? I know people like that. Right now. And I've known them for years too. And even one of them, when I heard when she was died and she was that young, I said to myself, yeah, all the days when you used to harass people. Right? I used to get him in my way. Right? And you want me to harass them to like how you harass them. Because we're working together and I wouldn't do it. Right? Because it's not me to do things like that. Yes. But what does it profit you? Right? So what does it profit you? Right? You just cut off like that. And Ben Hadad was supposed to be cut off that day. The last year, he ran away on a horse. And this year now, he was supposed to be taken back in a coffin or something, or buried somewhere. That's what was supposed to happen to him. Why do you destroy the people who Ben Hadad put in arms away to come for the army and don't destroy him? Does that make any sense? Right? Does that make any sense? These people who come up to fight in the army, right? How did they come up there? Because of Ben Hadad, they didn't come on their own. He's the man who orchestrated the war, and he's the man who set up this whole evil. Right? He's the man, he and his cohorts, whatever they are, set up this thing. So if anybody is supposed to die, should be them who's supposed to die first. So if anybody should have been set free, would be maybe some of the men who were caught in this whole thing. But definitely not the king. Right? So how the king come to the place where now, oh, he's your brother. Brother how? Is that how brothers work? That's his brother that last year he come to kill you. And then this year he come kill you again. That's my brother, right? I couldn't care less if he named Ferguson or just like me and come from the same father. He's no brother to me anymore. I'd rather have a stranger, have another name, be my brother than have him. Am I making sense? Right? And I know you know what I mean. Right? He's no brother to me anymore. And he was never a brother more than maybe some distant cousin because of the lineage of Abraham and so forth. But he's nothing to me now. He's an enemy. Not only an enemy of mine, but an enemy of God. But this man, because he worshipped idols and he would not associate himself with God, right? And Jezebel was there with him. They were working together in evil. They could not connect with the Spirit of God, right? So I said, don't waste God's second chance. And here he wasted God's second chance. You know what was going to happen to him now? And the prophet gave him the verdict. He said, you telling me that, said that, well, I said it, okay, so because I said it, then my judgment, I set it up. And he said, okay, you don't know. Remember when Nathan came to David and said to him, he said, thou art the man? He said, well, you are the man. You set up your own judgment right now. Because you caused the man who I really wanted to get rid of. If we got rid of this man, then you could know that, well, maybe you would have some peace for a while. And your enemy will be subdued. But you make the king go back home in peace and make a covenant with him. Are you crazy or what? crazy? But the Bible said, you know, Ahab was a man who sold himself to the devil. A lot of people are doing that today. Right? And even though sometimes you might see them do some good things, but they are locked into Satanism. They are locked into Satan worship. And Satan will not allow them to come out into the light of God's word. To get into the light, okay, they have to stay in the darkness. And so the Bible said Ahab was displeased. Because he know, I'm in trouble. Because the same prophets who told me, I don't mean the same individual, but I'm saying the same word of God that came from the prophet, told me I'll win the war, is telling me that now is utter destruction is going to come now. Right? And I am the one who is responsible. As I said to you, the people are going to be destroyed because of the king. But the king is the one who set them up to worship idols and Baal worship. So after all that happened on Mount Carmel, when they said, the Lord, He is the God, when the fire came down from heaven, our Father, and consumed the sacrifice, and after the altar was rebuilt, they were still going back to worshiping idols. And so the king of Syria come with his idol worship against your idol worship. It's a game of Satan against Satan, devils against devils. It's a game. There's no God in it. But God showed up in the middle of it, and God said, I want to put a difference between Israel and the Syrians, and you shall know that I am the Lord. Do you know who the Lord is today? How many times have God proven Himself to you? And you go back and doubt Him. You go back and act as if, well, and do stupid things. And as I said in my message about nakedness, is that when God gives you an exam to do, He expects you to do it, and He wants you to pass the test, right? And if He cleans you up, He don't expect you to go back wallowing in the mire over and over again like a pig. You know, He expects you to stay clean. Because if you keep going back wallowing in the mire, then you have the mentality of a pig, right? So I'm saying, God expects you to maintain that. But Ahab could not do that because he had sold himself out to the devil. And he's listening to God through one ear, the devil is speaking to him through the other ear. And the devil said, don't listen to him. But when Christ took him, the devil couldn't help him. So he had to listen to what God had to say. But the prophet spoke. And now the prophet came and said, I'm saying to you, this is what he was doing. He was going to waste God's second chance. That's what he did. He wasted God's second chance. And I hope today that as we look at ourselves, that we'll consider, are you wasting God's second chance in your life? How many times God give you a second chance? And a third chance and a fourth chance? Because here it is, God is still going to give Ahab another chance. And I'm going to leave that, although I said chapter 21, but that's a whole lot of different thing again, so I won't touch that today. But God is going to give him another chance. He gave him a chance here by giving him the victory. That was rain. And he said, strengthen yourself. The enemy coming again. He gave him the victory again. That was more rain. That's a whole lot of rain we're talking about here. Right? He's raining down blessing upon this country. And raining down blessing upon them. And they're not listening to him. So it gets to the point now where Ahab flunks the whole thing, bungles the whole thing, crashed the whole program. And God is saying, trouble. It's going to be trouble now. It's going to be trouble. It's going to be trouble. And I said to you that really, I I shouldn't really say that God is going to give him another chance.